Hi everyone, welcome to a new series. We took the poll and a crime series came out top. I was looking at some of the Sherlock Holmes adventures, but this one has been sitting in my Steam inventory now, Steam library for a number of years, and in fact it's been remastered and I still haven't played it. So it's going to be an interesting detective story. It's set in London in 1964. Where an ancient ruby is stolen from the British Museum. At the crime scene, the notorious thief, the Raven, leaves a raven feather as his calling card. Apparently, the original Raven was killed, and they believe there could be either a copycat or the heir to the Raven, as they are calling them. We play Constable Anton Jakob Zellner, and we find ourselves in the middle of this adventure and this mystery, and it is up to us to uncover who the Raven is and stop his or her dreadful crimes. Let's start and delve in to this new adventure.
The Raven's heir. Soon as one of them's caught, another one takes his place. Hey, Harold, have you read this? Harold? 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 You hear me? This is no time for fun and games.
Shh! Calm down. I'm a copper. We're on the same side.
A copper? What are you doing here? And where's Harold?
Harold? Well, there's another guard back there unconscious. That's probably him. The Eye of the Sphinx. Where is it?
It's there.
Oh, good. Then he hasn't got it yet.
You mean the Raven's heir?
Shh! Turn it off. He's gonna steal the eye.
But how do you know?
Doesn't matter. All that matters is that we catch him. Do you understand?
Yeah, but...
Do you understand? You and me, mate. We'll be heroes. All right, now, we just have to...
What?
Halt! Stop! You're under arrest!
And there we have it. Cut to a beautiful mountain scene. The Raven, or the heir of the Raven, is back. This feels very much like the opening credits of one of those little mini-series they used to have in the 80s, doesn't it? You know. God, I'm enjoying this so far. This looks good. I like the style. I like the over-dramatized character reactions. I like that. Is the train going to come whistling by? It looks like they've got the tracks down here. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, definitely a mini-series, a mini-drama. Look at this. This is great. Orient Express. Okay, this is one of the Orient Expresses. Choo-choo! I love it already. Yeah, the Orient Express. The terrible accent. So we got a couple of ladies having their dinner, drinking their tea, knitting away. A Dabstall in London. Oh, a German? Is that a German paper? Sinister looking German at the back.
Hands up!
I don't have time to play. I'm on duty.
And we got a little annoying kid.
You're funny, but you don't look like a real cop. You don't even have a revolver.
Okay, this is us then? This must be us, Anton Zeller. No, what's it? Anton Jakob Zellner. Why do we need a gun?
Why do you need the gun?
It's the Raven. He was gunned down, so now I need a pistol.
Dead birds don't need guns. Nor do live ones.
You don't know who the Raven is, do you? He's the greatest burglar ever. He stole paintings from the Louvre, and those priceless eggs with gold and diamonds and stuff. And
Fabergé.
he replaced the crown jewels with rhinestones.
I know who the Raven was. Although, I don't quite buy that bit about the crown jewels.
So the Raven is obviously... They're talking in the past tense. Obviously the heir of Raven is... He must have been captured or whatever, or killed, perhaps. And this is the new sort of copycat. So, who is this young man?
What's your name, boy?
My name is Matthew Miller,
And where are you from, Matthew Miller?
from Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. But my mom and I live in England now. She's taking care of some rich old lady. We're on our way to Venice at the moment. We're taking a cruise on a big ship.
Impressive. You've already seen half the world. I've spent my entire life in Switzerland.
Must be really boring.
Oh, so we're Swiss. Okay, I thought we were going to be Belgian. Because Poirot's Belgian. And I don't know why. Moustache. The kind of the accent. I was thinking Belgium rather than Swiss. But no, that's cool. Do you know anything about the burglary in London? Not that I expect you to.
You do know these days there are thieves far more dangerous than your old Raven. 2 days ago, a precious ruby was stolen from the British Museum. There was an explosion. A guard was severely injured.
Really?
Yeah. And do you know what the papers say?
You talk too much, Constable.
Zellner, monsieur. Anton Jakob Zellner.
Or did he pull a gun on you?
No, monsieur.
Get a move on.
Inspector Legrand.
Ah.
It's a great honor to work with a celebrity like you.
We appreciate the support of the Swiss police, but it'd be better if you'd remain seated and keep an eye on things.
But I want to help. What's going on here?
But, monsieur, surely I can be of assistance, somehow. I saw a safe being loaded.
We have
Safe.
everything under control. If you'll excuse me, I'll be in the first freight car at the back of the train for the rest of the trip.
I'm not here to enjoy the beautiful scenery. I am a good observer, and I have finally honed powers of deduction.
Thanks to that?
I watched the people on the platform in Zurich. I know, for example, that man over there is a violinist.
That would be more impressive if there weren't a violin case next to him.
And I believe that the gentleman in the next carriage is a German doctor on his way to Italy to take up a new position.
And what gives you that idea?
There's the rod of Asclepius engraved on his cufflink. And he's carrying a German-Italian dictionary.
Maybe he's just taking a holiday in Italy, following in Goethe's footsteps.
Too much luggage. And no, he's not retiring to Italy either. The suitcases are too shabby for me to believe that he can afford to retire in his late 50s.
All right then, Constable...
Zellner.
Constable Zellner. If you're such a clever fellow, what am I doing on this train?
Well, you're guarding something. Yes, that safe box. You just said you were going back to the carriage, the freight carriage. You're guarding it.
I think you're guarding something.
Oh really? And what might it be?
Money, a jewel, whatever's inside that safe.
I really couldn't say. But it must be
Good,
very important.
Why is that?
Because you are very important. They wouldn't have assigned the case to you.
Bit of buttering
if
up
it were
boys
just a
helps.
Let's assume that we really are transporting something very important on this train. And let's assume that it really is my job to see that it arrives safe. Then why isn't the train crawling with police?
You don't want to arouse attention. It's a trap. More men are unnecessary. Is he trying to trap the Raven, or is it that he just doesn't want to? It could be one of these. I don't think 3 is going to be the thing. It's going to be 1 or 2, isn't it? Let's go with you don't want to attract or arouse attention.
You don't want to arouse attention.
Évident, but why not?
Look, it's a trap. It's a tarp.
It's a trap.
You've got a vivid imagination. I'll give you that. Well, that is impressive, I admit. But the fewer people involved, the better. We'll get along fine without you.
You won't.
Won't? Pardonnez-moi.
I can help, and I will help. You are in my country, and I've been ordered to assist you. And that's exactly what I'll do, whether you like it or not.
Clever and stubborn. Your
Yeah.
commitment speaks volumes.
More
Zellner.
stubborn than clever,
But this
but
is my show.
that's
and
just
I
me
don't
talking.
Need you. Bon voyage.
But how do you know?
Ah, right. So we got a famous inspector, Legrand.
Oh, hello.
You cheated.
I did what?
I saw you talking to the German doctor on the platform. He told you everything himself, and you were just pretending to put two and two together.
And what of it? Do you know who that is? That's Inspector Nicolas Legrand. You have to impress him if you want to work with him.
I'm going to tell on you.
You'd really tell on me? To the very policeman who shot your dear Raven?
Whoa!
Ooh.
It was him?
Mm-hmm. Hunted and killed Europe's most famous burglar.
Wow.
That's how he got his start.
I won't tell him a thing.
I wouldn't either. All right, Matthew. I have to do my work now.
Everyone calls me Matt. Well, except for my mom. She calls me Maddie, as if I were a little kid.
Right. Okay.
Whether Legrand wants my help or not, I'll keep my eyes open.
So we're
Maybe
certainly
I can change his mind.
getting a little bit of backstory. Do you want to learn about the game tutorials? Yes. Tell me more. To examine an item, just click on it. Click on the sandwich paper on the table.
This morning I thought I wouldn't be hungry because of all the excitement. Thankfully, I bought a sandwich with me anyway.
Good thinking. If you move the mouse over the sandwich paper again, you'll see that the cursor shape has changed to the text. At the bottom of the screen says take the sandwich paper. Click to take the sandwich paper. There we go. Just like that, it's working. Very good. Move the cursor to the bottom of the screen. That's where the inventory is. Oh yeah. And you can see all the items that Constable Zellner is carrying. Left click on the sandwich paper. Got paper napkin as well. Now you can use the same sandwich paper with the other objects. Move it over the apple core on the table to the left. Oh, okay, we're going to put the apple core in the... Clear it up nicely. Okay, nice little easy mechanic to use. Open the inventory again and right click on the sandwich paper. Right click.
I wrapped the apple core in the sandwich paper. That way I can carry it without making a mess of my trouser pocket. Still, I'd prefer not to have to carry them all day.
Of course, you can also use the items inside the inventory with each other. Left click on the paper napkin and then click on the sandwich paper in the inventory. Okay?
The napkin came with the croissant I bought at the train station. A guilty pleasure. I don't need that either.
Okay. Now we've got double wrapped apple core. What do we do with this double wrapped apple core? Let's get rid of it. Dump the litter from your inventory into the ashtray on Zellner's table. Oh, okay. We should find a bin, really, but there we go. That wasn't too hard, was it? Now you know everything you need to know about the game's controls. Have fun. Okay, well that was quite nice, quick, little, simple tutorial. And back we are. Right, so we can start off. What we got? Let's have a look at the book.
Vicarage in the Mirror. A detective novel by my favorite author, Lady Clarissa Westmacott. For years now, I've been trying to convince my theater group to stage one of her plays. I'll leave it there. I'll pick it up before I get off.
Okay. Anything else that we need to observe? Observe the violinist. Okay, we're going to go and have a chat with this violinist.
The violinist is a good-looking fellow, and he's traveling through the most beautiful mountain landscape in the world. But one can only hope that his violin is better tuned than he.
Okay, let's have a little chat with him. His hands are a bit shaky.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Who are you?
If I'm not mistaken,
Traveling
you're a
violinist?
That's true.
A wonderful instrument. The violin music touches the soul.
That's why I learned to play it.
Do you play in an orchestra?
No, orchestras aren't really part of my world.
A solo violinist. The best soloists travel a great deal and make a pile of money, or so they say.
In that case, I'm probably not one of the best.
Okay. Where is he traveling to?
Are you traveling to Istanbul non-stop?
No. I'll transfer in Venice to a ship. I'm on my way to Cairo.
Cairo?
I'm performing at the reception in the Egyptian Museum there.
Unusual occurrences?
I'm sure your recital will be a great success. But tell me, did you notice anything unusual on the train?
Anything unusual?
Persons acting suspiciously, for instance.
For heaven's sake, is there cause for concern?
Everything is in order, sir. We Swiss are just very cautious people.
I understand. No, I didn't notice anything.
Have a good trip.
Thank you.
Okay, he seems a little like it is something being written down there. He seems a little bit he saw his shaking hand. He seems a little bit uneasy. So we got. He's obviously heading to Cairo, Venice to Cairo.
Very kind of you. Thanks.
Oh, why did we do that?
Oh, pardon me.
Must have been the train shuddering.
No problem. The uniform is waterproof. Mr.
Lucio. Professor Edgar Lucio.
Oh, a professor.
Professor, indeed.
Are you a scientist? Do you teach at the Sorbonne?
No, I work at the British Museum in London.
Ah,
You don't say.
they've just had a burglary.
So you were, shall we say, an eyewitness to the burglary 2 days ago?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Oh, no?
Well, there was a lot of commotion, but I didn't really pay much attention to it.
There was a break-in in your museum, and it didn't concern you?
Well, let's just say that nothing that's happened in the last 2,000 years concerns me.
Okay, so he's into his studies and stuff like that. Do you know Inspector Legrand, or can you tell us anything about Largo?
Whatever you say. The famous Inspector Legrand is on this train. I imagine you know him.
No, should I?
You don't know him? And you also don't know what he's doing here?
No. Why should I?
Just a thought. You're a representative of the British Museum. There's a guarded safe on the train.
I'm sorry. I don't know what you're trying to imply. And now, please excuse me.
Destination, where are you heading?
May I ask where you are going?
Of course. To Venice.
To Venice.
I'm going to meet some colleagues there.
Oh, Venice. A beautiful city, or so I'm told.
Indeed. But I really have to take my leave now.
I wonder if he's meeting anyone like a lady friend or anything like that. Have you seen anything suspicious, Professor?
Just one more thing. Did you notice anything unusual on the train?
Here? On the train? No. I can't say that I have. Although I did spend most of the time in my compartment.
Okay.
I don't want to take up any more of your valuable time, but you do understand, don't you, that what concerns me is the present, and especially the robbery at the museum.
Yeah, of course, of course. It's just... I'm in rather a hurry.
You'll get in touch if you notice anything unusual, won't you, Professor?
Of course, Constable. What's this?
What's the matter, sir?
The door. I can't open it.
Ah, we'll sort it out somehow.
Out of the way, let me try.
Compartment is locked.
But I didn't lock it. I don't even have a key. I asked the steward. He was going to bring me one, but he never came back.
Someone locked it.
Find the steward. He needs to bring me the key immediately.
Calm down, Professor. I'll see what I can do.
You don't understand. I have to get back in my compartment.
All right, just wait here.
Just a little bit. Why is he getting so het up over getting back in? Oh, I can imagine he just wants to get some peace and quiet, but... Okay, so we've got a violinist who's travelling to Cairo from Venice. Or to Venice, then Cairo. Matt was travelling to Venice as well, then getting on a boat. Professor, he's obviously the train is going to Venice, that's why they're all going the same way. What do we have here? Examine compartment door.
The little label on the door reads Baroness von Trebitz.
Ooh, Baroness.
Blue blood on the Orient Express.
Ah. Hello.
Yes, what is it? Whoever that is, James, ask them whether they found my purse and then close the door. The noise on this train is driving me crazy.
Ooh, missing purse.
You're missing a purse. Was it stolen?
At the very least, I cannot find it, sir. It was stolen.
When was the last time the Baroness saw her purse?
What? In Zurich, on the platform, sir.
I just asked where you last saw your purse.
In Zurich, on the platform.
Yeah.
Just tell him that I still had it when I got out to stretch my legs. The Baroness says...
Maybe you lost it there.
What? The Baroness never loses anything, sir.
Oh, of course not.
I never lose anything.
Very well then. I shall be on the lookout for your purse.
Have you seen anything about the other passengers?
If I might ask you a few questions about your fellow passengers.
I thought he was looking for my purse. James, tell him to look for my purse. The Baroness wishes that you search for her purse.
But couldn't we perhaps... All right. First, the purse. I will have a look around.
Thank you, sir.
Right, okay, so we need to get the steward to get him a key to get in there, and we need to find the Baroness's purse. Wow, our job's just mounting up at the moment.
I don't believe it.
Who is
I
it?
never thought I'd ever meet you.
Pardon me, but we'd prefer...
It's all right, Miss Miller. I'd like to speak to the inspector.
Unfortunately, just a constable, Lady Westmacott. I'm reading The Vicarage in the Mirror right now, for the 5th time at least.
That's nice, Constable...
Zellner. Anton Jakob Zellner.
This is my companion, Miss Miller.
A pleasure.
Oh, right, okay, so this is Matt's mum, is it? And this is the author of the detective novels that we've been reading. Well, he's been reading. What are you doing here?
May I ask what you're doing here? Are you on
It's far more polite than I am.
Holiday? Yes, so to speak. The first and last holiday of my life.
Madam?
I've been writing since I was a little girl. It became my job, and now I've stopped. So, this must be a holiday.
You quit writing? Impossible. I have all of your books. Your Detective Partout is my favorite character.
Then I have bad news for you. I killed the old wretch off years ago.
I don't understand.
I'd rather not discuss my work, Constable.
Oh, well, fine.
Where are you travelling to?
Are you traveling to Istanbul, Lady Westmacott?
No, we are on our way to Venice. From there, we will take a ship to Cairo. As you may know, I have a penchant for archaeology.
They're going to Cairo as well.
I fund a few excavations in Egypt. I travelled to Egypt by ship as a young woman. And now I'm doing it again as an old woman.
I see.
I'm getting the Poirot vibes here. Murder on the Orient Express, and then followed up by Death on the Nile, wasn't it? Have you seen a missing purse of the Baroness?
There's something else. A passenger's purse has gone missing. I suppose you haven't seen it.
I'm sorry, Constable Zellner. As you know, I only deal with murder, not burglary.
Have you asked my boy yet? Maddie is good at finding things.
I'll go and do that now.
Okay. Fellow passengers?
As a writer, you must be very observant. Am I right? I mean, you have to study the behavior of people around you to create the characters in your novels, don't you?
I solved the mystery of human nature a long time ago, Mr. Zellner. Since then, most people just bore me.
Really? I had the impression you were eyeing me suspiciously as I came in.
What do you want to know, Constable?
Okay, the violinist.
Did you notice the blonde man with the violin case?
Apparently we did.
I certainly did. He introduced himself and tried to make a good impression. People like him are drawn to wealth and fame, like moths to a flame.
But his charms failed on you.
I know him by name. David Kreutzer.
David
He was
Kreutzer.
a drain on my friend's purse.
Do you think he has a money problem?
People like him always have a money problem. No matter how much you give them, they always spend twice as much and complain that they have far too little.
Right. Okay, we know the type. What about the archaeologist, the professor?
Did you notice the man who just walked into the next carriage with a cup of tea?
I did. He seemed nervous. He was waiting at the bar for the steward, and since the steward never appeared, he elected to help himself. He took 2 biscuits.
He seems pretty young, but he's already a professor at the British Museum.
Interesting. I'll have to talk to him later. Just out of courtesy, of course.
Of course.
Anything else about the other passengers?
Did you notice anyone else? What about the doctor or the Baroness?
I notice that you've asked me about everyone, except for the inspector who went in the direction of the freight car a few minutes ago. Isn't that the
yes.
Frenchman who made his name when he caught the raven?
I wouldn't quite say caught.
Well, shot. Why don't you ask me about him and my theory about what he's doing here?
I don't think we should discuss Inspector Legrand's investigation in public.
Legrand, right. That was his name. Will he save the day again? Or will you, Constable?
As much as I'd like to keep talking, duty calls.
You were right.
Madam?
I did observe you as you came in. You seemed so eager.
It's been a long time since I've had a chance to prove myself, madam.
And this is it. Your chance.
I do hope so.
Then grab it. Even small people can make big changes, as my friend Ronald likes to say.
I shall do my best.
Right, so Miss Miller and Lady West... Mako? We've got a chap down there. Let's go and have a word with this chap. This is going to be the German doctor, I'm assuming. We saw him earlier. He looked very sinister, didn't he? Dr. Gebhard.
I made the acquaintance of Dr. Gebhardt on the platform in Zurich.
Hello! Oh, he doesn't seem pleased. Oh, he's putting his foot down.
Mr.
Zellner.
Right. How can I help you?
He looks a bit shifty, doesn't he? But that could be just me. Right, anything suspicious you've seen?
Tell me, did you notice anything suspicious here on the train or in Zurich?
You mean, except for the fact that my suitcase was stolen on the platform? No. Is there any reason to be concerned?
No, just routine.
Constable Zellner, please don't think I'm naive. I spotted the inspector from Interpol. Legrand is his name, if I recall correctly.
Legrand.
If you say so. At the train station in Zurich, he put a cash box into the safe, and then kept close watch as it was loaded onto the train. Don't tell me that a man at his pay grade routinely tramps across the Alps just to keep an eye on cash boxes.
A cash box? Like the ones you'd find in safe deposit boxes?
Precisely. And I believe we both have a good idea just what's inside.
Yes. Yes, indeed. It's,
I do indeed have a theory, but what's yours?
A ruby was stolen in London. One of the legendary Eyes of the Sphinx. The second jewel, an emerald,
is rumored to be in a Swiss bank vault, if
Oh.
I remember correctly. Both jewels were supposed to be exhibited together in Cairo for the first time in 50 years. It does make one wonder.
It does. It all sort of ties up a little bit, doesn't it?
Indeed.
And you're off to Italy, aren't you? You're not going to Cairo by any chance, like everyone else seems to be going. Do you know anything about the robbery
Any
in London?
news about the robbery in London?
Quite something, wasn't it? It must have been professionals. The way they disabled one of the best security systems in the world. Most impressive.
People were injured.
Well, one cannot execute a robbery of that scale without collateral damage. It seems like the Raven has finally found a worthy successor. We can look forward to
He's admiring it.
and spectacular coups.
I'm afraid I won't enjoy his exploits this time around if the new Raven is so reckless.
That's your prerogative.
Okay, so let's have a look at that newspaper.
Borrow
Can
your
we?
newspaper.
You can take the section with the article on the burglary. You're interested in that bit, aren't you?
You caught me out.
Here you go.
Thank you very much.
Dankeschön.
Have you seen us conductor? I suppose that's the steward, isn't it?
There's something else. Do you know where the conductor is?
I'd like to know that myself. I told him to search for my missing suitcase in Zurich. He hasn't got back to me yet. He's probably in cahoots with the thieves. And didn't bother getting back on the train. If we don't crack down on vermin like them, the rabble will rule the world one day.
Well, at the moment, we still don't know what really happened.
He is not here doing his job. That's bad enough.
So we've got a missing purse, we've got a compartment we can't get into, a missing steward, and now a missing suitcase as well.
I meant to ask, the Baroness is missing her purse.
A baroness? This train is really full of the creme de la creme. The queen of crime is over there, and now a baroness as well.
Have you seen the purse?
Unfortunately, no. Do you know Lady Westmacott? You were talking to her.
Well, I'm an admirer of her work.
Like so many others. I once read in the newspaper that only Shakespeare and the Bible sell more copies than her crime novels.
I read that too.
She must be filthy rich. As a doctor, I'd have to work 1,000 years to earn that kind of money.
Auf Wiedersehen, Dr. Gebhardt.
Okay, we got another person
It
who's
was a
potentially
pleasant
giving
chat,
us a motive of money. He looks a bit sinister as well. Let's have a look at the newspaper then. Is that Surtees? John Surtees? Wetmeister? Is that the... what? Wetmaster? It's Formula 1, isn't it?
John Surtees won the Formula
Yeah.
1 World Championship for the first time on Saturday. He also won the World Championship in motorcycle racing from 1956 to 1960, making him the only man in motorsports to win World Championships in both motorcycle and Formula 1 events. Not really my cup of tea. Too loud, too fast, too much exhaust.
Yeah, legend was of John Surtees. Cleopatra and Oscar, she's in the Oscars.
A story about the upcoming Oscars and Cleopatra's chances of winning. An incredible feat. They built the largest movie set of all time in Rome. And because of the main actress's many illnesses, several changes of director, and months of delays, cost shot to over $40 million. The most expensive movie ever made. A record never to be broken.
Little do you know, my friend. Little do you know. I think the latest Lord of the Rings, what's a TV series, isn't it, on Amazon? Didn't they say they gave him $1 billion for that series? It's just like, whoa. It's only like 8 episodes or something like that. Crazy. Dice in London. Is that the jewellery thief?
Let's see if there's any news. Blah, 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 blah. Eye of the Sphinx. One of 2 priceless jewels. Extraordinary pure ruby. 2000 BC, etc., etc. Old news. And here, shocking burglary. Professional thieves surprised by museum guard Charles Langley and Constable Robert Oliver of Scotland Yard. Explosion? Not really anything new. One of the two eyes of the Sphinx, a ruby that's nearly 4,000 years old, was stolen from the British Museum. The burglar was surprised, but managed to escape with his loot without being recognized. That's the official story. But it says nothing about Legrand and the second eye.
So they're taking the second eye still to Cairo? If the first one's missing, then you don't see why you'd bother taking the second one. It would be too much of a risk. What about this?
Luna's Drops.
Luna's Drops.
The calming herbal liqueur for women. A glass a day. It relaxes the nerves and maintains domestic tranquility.
Oh, how
Luna's
wonderful.
Drops. If you don't want to bother your husband.
Wow, you can't make those adverts anymore. Okay, so we didn't really learn much more on that one. What else we got? We've got a wallet.
I bought it last week at a flea market. I like it because it tells a story. I suppose the previous owner bought himself a newer one. This one still works just fine, though.
Okay, and what are these pills?
Pills. For my heart.
Oh.
I'm supposed to take one if I have trouble. My daughter insisted that I take them with me. She was strongly against this little adventure, but I wasn't about to change my mind.
Oh, okay. Well, why do we need those pills? We might have moments then. What's this? Examine the bowl.
Butterscotch. I've loved them since I was a child. Their only drawback, they don't play nice with false teeth.
Take some sweets. Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
Maybe if I just suck it.
Yeah, indeed. Often works a charm. Right, look behind the bar. Let's have a look behind the bar then.
I suppose the steward won't object to me having a look around in his absence.
Yeah, if he's not here. What else have we got? Examine the notepad.
The pad on which the steward writes orders. Empty. Maybe he didn't use it because there's not much to do today.
Take it.
The pad on which the steward writes orders. Empty. Maybe he didn't use it because there's
Oh.
not much to do today.
I want you to take it.
I don't need the pad, but the pencil might come in handy.
Oh, I'll take the pencil then. We've got some scissors.
The steward probably uses the scissors on hard-to-open packages. These days, nearly everything is sealed up tight. A colleague recently told me about dry powdered soup in small bags. I couldn't believe it.
It's crazy times, right? Can we take them?
I'll leave the scissors here. If I need them, I know where to find them.
Okay, what else have we got? We've got a drawer.
Perhaps he keeps the compartment keys in there. Locked. Where could he be?
Where could he be, indeed? What else we got? A radio.
A shortwave radio. It's amazing how small these things have become in the last 10 years.
There we go, music on. Okay, I was expecting the steward to come out and say, turn that racket off! But no, okay, we'll turn that racket off then. I think that's everything. So let's head back and we've talked to... So we've gone talk to Matty about the purse. Oh, what did that come up? Anything? Observe Lady Clarissa.
An extraordinary woman. Talented, intellectual, extremely rich, and the most successful writer of all time. Yet, they say she can be difficult on occasion, and that she's rather unhappy.
Oh, bless. Examining toothpicks.
The steward must have forgotten the toothpicks. Normally, he would offer them discreetly after dinner.
Oh, we'll take one. Know what we're going to do with that. I think we're good. So we've got toothpick, pencil, butterscotch, paper, wallet. Okay, check. Let's move forward again. Oh, yeah. No joy there. Oh, where's Matt gone? Look out the window. I'm doing the old
We Swiss are crazy about trains. We don't just have a lot of railroads. We have the most beautiful ones in the world.
Lovely. Oh, we can open the window.
Would you be so kind as to close the window? I don't want to sit in the draught.
Oh, pardon me.
Oh, okay. Can we continue going this way? What do we got here? We got examine the map. Look at the door. Let's examine the
large
map.
map shows the different routes of the Orient Express.
Ah.
This train began in Paris and ends in Istanbul as usual. Unfortunately, it will make most of its journey without me. The train covers a distance of more than 3,000 kilometers. It stops at a dozen places. In many cities, they entertain the travelers with local specialities and culture and adventure, especially in southeastern Europe.
Okay.
This is the first car. The coal tender should be directly beyond this door, and in front of it, the engine.
Okay, so that's probably a toilet. So we can't go any. There's nothing there. Let's head back. Where's the boy gone?
He doesn't make a very balanced impression. And he, of all people, isn't bothered by a robbery in his own museum.
That is suspicious, for sure.
Professor Lucien?
Professor?
Yes? Do you have the key?
No.
Surely, I wanted to...
Please. I have to go back to my compartment.
Okay. So he's not going to do anything until we sort his door out.
You can easily lock the compartment door from inside by turning a little knob.
But I didn't lock it.
Professor, if you had locked the door from in there, you wouldn't be out here.
That's true.
Try to open the lock. Yeah, go on then.
The door is locked.
Try to
I'm
open
at a
it.
loss.
Come on.
I don't believe that... It's no use. The bolt is too short to get a good grip on it.
Can we poke it with the... No, nothing there. What about if we combine that with butterscotch and we get a sticky end? No, that doesn't work either. Okay. Come back. I'll figure something out. Don't worry. Let's continue through the train then to see if we can get some ideas. Let's go outside. Here we go. Examine the ladder.
The ladder leads up to the roof. It will be suicidal to climb up there while the train is at full
That'd
speed.
be fine.
Wind, tunnels. No, I'll stay down here.
I've seen it a million times in the movies. It's absolutely fine. Go to the saloon car. Enter the freight train. What we got here? Examine the box.
A box with a padlock. I suppose it contains tools for the train's crew, maybe for coupling and uncoupling the cars. At any rate, it's positioned so that it's easier to reach from the ground than from up here.
Can we try?
Locked.
Bang, bang! Don't
Bloody
move.
hell, where did he come
Matt,
from?
have you gone mad?
I'll shoot. Hey, my pistol!
You'll get it back in Venice. I could have fallen under the wheels.
I thought you were a ghost.
Ghosts don't exist.
They do too. One just flew past the window.
Yes, sure. Now get moving.
Oh, man.
So, there's Matt. Should we go and talk to him? Where's that little boy gone? Oh. Hello, Mum.
Constable?
Yes?
Yes, Mom.
My son didn't make any trouble for you, I hope. It's just that he just walked past us, silent and seething. That's usually a sign that someone's laid down the law.
I'm afraid so. He played a trick on me, a rather dangerous one. The lad left me no choice but to take away his wooden pistol as a punishment.
I understand. And thank you. Matty is a very lively child. Sometimes he needs a strong fatherly hand.
Where is Matt's father, if I may ask?
Let's not go down this road.
He's gone.
Ah, I understand.
Could you, leave Maddie's pistol here, perhaps? So you don't have to bother with it?
Of course. I told him he wouldn't get it back until Venice.
Very well. Thank you again, Constable.
Right. Okay. So we've lost the toy gun now. He's still there. Seen the little boy go past? There he is.
Matt doesn't really seem to be content.
It's because he just got told off. Hey, Matt.
Hello, Matt.
Oh. Silent treatment.
Oh, come on. Are you going to be angry with me for the rest of the trip?
Until I get my pistol back.
I gave it to your mother.
Oh man, couldn't you have just raked me over the coals?
Would you have learned anything from that?
I didn't learn anything from this either.
Oh.
Come on, Matt.
Come on, Matt. Did you really think that you can ignore me for longer than I can ignore you? I'm Swiss. It's practically a national sport.
Right, come on, Matt. Right, sorry about this.
Matt is digging in his heels. I won't get anything out of him as long as he's angry with me.
He is angry with me. Maybe we need to go and get his gun back. Do we try? We tried to use the toothpick on the door, didn't we?
The bolt is too short to get a good grip on it. I'm at a loss without a key or a proper tool.
When we tried this, didn't we? What about pencil? What about? I don't know. Oh, things taxing the old brain here. Anything? It's got to be something behind the steward's room here. Pencil. See, I was wondering if
the drawer is locked.
Sorry.
And the steward probably has the key. But where is he?
Where is he indeed? Can we use the pencil on the pad? No. Can we use the toothpick with the scissors? No. Can we use the toothpick with the candy? No. Candy! We could probably give that to the boy to see if Matty will speak to us. Use pencil with the scissors. Okay, I was going to try the pad again.
When I scratch the pencil's lead with the scissors, I get fine graphite powder. I won't get a Nobel Prize for the idea, but graphite powder will bring out fingerprints at a pinch.
Ooh!
I scraped a small amount of graphite
What to do?
off the pencil lead. The powder is very fine, practically dust.
Right, so we've got fingerprint dust now, but I'm not quite sure where that will be useful. It's not going to get us into the door, and it's not going to find the purse. Maybe it's later on. Hasn't helped us now, but you never know. That could be a huge thing going forward. But there's nothing here. We never went into the carriage, did we?
I strongly suspect that the door is locked.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
No,
oh,
it's open.
There's a policeman standing right there.
Hello?
Hello?
Wow.
Who is it?
Move a muscle, you feathered fiend.
Put the gun down, Robert.
Oh, it's the same copper.
If I may introduce Constable Robert Oliver from the yard.
Yes,
This
indeed.
is the revered Constable Zellner of the Swiss police, who obviously couldn't control his curiosity.
No, it seems to be the way. Constable Robert Oliver, weren't you involved in the other theft? Bit suspicious, don't you think? Working in tandem, perhaps?
Constable Robert Oliver. Is it possible that I read your name in the newspaper?
Ah, could be, sir. Could very well be.
Robert was there when the first eye of the Sphinx was stolen.
Why were you in the museum? Did you spot something from outside?
Well, sir, I noticed that a door was ajar, which was suspicious, and it was my duty to investigate that.
Scotland Yard gave him a commendation and assigned him to me as a liaison.
A great honor, sir.
You want to set a trap for someone?
Those two seem a little dodgy. The Raven's heir.
What do you know of this Raven's heir?
He tried to blow me up.
Robert, we don't know who we're dealing with yet.
In any event, the new Raven is a more dangerous man than the old one.
How do you know it's a man? It could just as easily be a woman.
Could be.
Several men.
And anyway, how do you know that it's a new Raven?
Monsieur?
Never mind.
I thought you shot the other one dead. So if he doesn't think the Raven's dead, right? I think it's him. I jump into conclusions like I do. I think it's him, and this is his accomplice. He's the distraction, and he's the maybe not. Let's tell him about our personal investigations.
I hope you'll acknowledge that I, as a Swiss policeman, can undertake investigations in my own country.
Are we still in Switzerland?
I could be your eyes on the train as long as you're here in the freight car.
Oh, really?
I can tell you about the archaeologist's compartment.
There is a certain Professor Lucien on the train. He's an archaeologist from London.
And what's his story?
Well, it seems someone locked him out of his compartment.
Locked him out?
Well, yes. The door is locked and he's standing outside without a key.
Was it locked from inside?
It may have been. Do you think the locked door could be important?
Professor Lucien plays an important role in this story. Well then, Constable Zellner, be my eyes and ears on the train and see that Professor Lucien gets back into his compartment. Report
Interesting.
Back to me when you're through.
My pleasure, monsieur.
Interesting. So, the professor plays an important part of this story, yet the professor claimed to not know anything about burglary and everything. That's what's about the purse.
And then there's the Baroness. She's missing her purse.
Baroness von Trebitz. Interesting.
Indeed, sir.
But it has nothing to do with our case.
So I shouldn't concern myself with the matter.
Why not? It's your job as a policeman. But don't expect me to be particularly interested in a lost purse.
I go attend to the door now.
Good. And, Constable Zellner?
Yes?
Don't bother us unless you have something new to report.
Of course. A thief might get anxious if there's too much activity in the freight car.
Exactement. Knock twice. Then we'll know that it's you.
Understood.
Right, so I think we've just completed the tutorial.
An investigation on behalf of Legrand that takes me one step closer. If I
Yes,
can
indeed.
convince him of my competence, I might even be able to see this case through to the end.
Brilliant. So there we are. I think we've completed the tutorial. We've learned lots of things. We know there's a missing purse for the Baroness. There's the professor who's locked out of his room. Matty the small child may know something, but he won't tell us. Maybe we can try the candy, and that will help him. We've got a box here. Do we have a...
The box is secured with a padlock. I won't be able to open it without a key.
What about a toothpick? No, okay. Don't know what the toothpick's for. We've read that. I'm not sure with the wallet, and I think they're just general things we have with us. That might be for Matt. We've lost a pencil because we've used that to get graphite powder. So yes, the mystery of the purse and the locked room will continue next time. What do you think? I think it's beautiful, isn't it? It's I love the animations, the overreactions of all the characters, which is fantastic. I love it. It's got a good comic feel. But it's definitely got that kind of Poirot, Agatha Christie feel to it, doesn't it? Especially with the Orient Express and Cairo. Looks like it's going to play a major part in this story. The characters are interesting. Matty, I thought he's an innocent young man. Not going to worry much, but he could be useful to getting hints and spying on people, that kind of thing. That's what kids usually do. We then have the violinist, who's by all accounts probably a bit of a grifter, a bit of a gold digger, sort of mooching off other people's wealth, so he could definitely be one that we could have a look at. We then have Mrs. Miller, who's Matty's mother, who's the housekeeper and companion of the Lady Westcott, whatever her name is, the author of the detective novels. Maybe it's her, maybe she's trying to put what she's learnt and her writings to practice. Maybe, maybe not. We'll find out a little bit more about them later, I am sure. We then have the professor, who's locked out of his compartment and is desperate to get back in. We know, well, he says he knows nothing about the burglary and wasn't really interested in, and yet Legrand, the inspector, has just said he plays a major part of the story, so he's obviously telling a few fibs, and there's more to come from the professor. And then we've got the German doctor, who's on his way to take up a new job in Italy, and he's had his suitcase stolen. Then we've got Robert, the police officer, who was also the same chap who was at the first theft in the London Museum, British Museum in London, for the first Sphinx's Eye jewel. And yes, and then the Raven, who's this mysterious thief we thought shot dead, and the person who is claimed to have shot him dead is now questioning, or he made a suggestion that he's not dead, so who knows. I may have misread all of that, but everyone's suspicious, and obviously that's, apart from Matty really, so it's probably Matty. So that's obviously how it goes. Join me next time. We've completed the tutorial, so it might pick up a bit of pace now, but join me next time where we continue this investigation.